Alright, welcome back to a currently inked video. So I'll be going over my pens and inks that I'm currently using in my fountain pens. To get us started, I'll just be using this Staplebounds. This is actually a Taroko little thin Tomoe River notebook. So this is the old Tomoe River paper, just for a distinction there. Because you have to do that now. There's multiple types. But this is the old, just white Tomoe River paper. And I believe this is the 68 GSM paper. So let's get this underway. This is about the middle of October 2022 is when I'm doing this one. So first pin up is my trusty Pilot Vanishing Point, one of the most reliable, most used pins. I always pretty much have my Vanishing Point inked. This is daily writer for me. I've used it almost every day since every week at least since I picked this up probably a year or two ago. As I got it to work, be as a work pen. So you can see it's definitely had its fair share of abuse. There's a dent there. You can kind of see some wear on the clip there, but ultra reliable pen here. So this is the matte blue finish as well. So it has the lovely black nib there. So let's get us started. Hopefully you can get to where you can see. This is our currently inked. And there we are. And I'll go ahead and zoom in a little bit so you can see a bit better, hopefully, not just my hand, but we'll try to get the paper as well. I don't know if I should, maybe I'll denote here that this is October's currently inked. So October. So this is my Pilot Vanishing Point. It's the only one I have, but it's the matte blue pen, and it is a fine 14 karat gold nib. Just the standard one. It's a very wet, very broad fine, especially for Pilot. This is probably the broadest, wettest fine nib pen that I have from them. And then the ink. Let's do a quick little run there. The ink is a favorite, probably my favorite blue black. It's Diamine Prussian blue. Just a really nice ink. I'll do a quick smear so you know how wet the pen and ink combo is. That's pretty wet. I find it to be a pretty reliable, pretty wet ink. You can kind of see it. Maybe my lighting's not amazing, I know, but you can see the ink there. And to help, I just have it in the 30 milliliter bottle here. I've used probably a quarter of this bottle of ink. I'll do a quick swab just so you can see the ink underneath each pen. Doing this with the camera in the way. Kind of interesting. So you can see, or maybe you can't, still lovely color for blue black ink. It's a little different than a regular blue black ink, and I probably should have prepared a little bit better with the place to put my used cotton swabs. So we're going to put that away so we don't make a horrible mess. And there's our Diamine Prussian blue on our The next one I have is a recent acquisition I got at the Dallas Pen Show. I got it for a really good price. This is the Platinum 3776 Urushi Makie, and I believe it's called the Sansui. The actual artwork there. So it's supposed to be mountains and boats or mountains and water, something like that. But I thought it was just absolutely beautiful, the detail. It's my first Urushi pen too. I didn't really know 100% that it was Urushi at the time. I just really liked the boats and the trees and the water and the artwork on it. I've never been one that's like super into Makie pens, but this one got me. I think it's interesting. It's got the gold dust and the Urushi lacquer on it. There's the sun that I've kind of matched my ink to, the sunset. Yeah, but just a really beautiful pen, and I love platinum pens. I have the most platinum pens, and this is a 14 karat gold fine nib pen, which is one of my favorite nibs from them. I also like their extra fine and ultra fine. But there you go. And you can see that Prussian blue is really starting to come through now. All right, so this is the platinum. I can't write. 3776 Urushi Makie Sansui. I believe that is it. I don't know 100%. Probably should have been prepared for that. And this is a fine 14 karat gold nib. The ink I have in this one is one I don't use super often. Whoops, sorry about that. I'm having to go around a camera, so the ink I use one I don't use super often, but it is Monteverde. It's one of my first inks I ever got, by the way. Copper Noir. I do like this ink. I have found that it does sort of smear a little bit. If you use it in a broader nib or laying it down, it can kind of smear after time, depending on the paper you're using it on. But it's a good wet ink. Works good. I find it's really kind of a rusty, coppery color. I find it pretty similar to Diamine's Ancient Copper, so you can do that if you'd like instead. And a little smear test for wetness is right there. So there we have that, and let's do a quick swab. If you're worried about this video going long like I am, be comforted to know that I usually don't have very many pens inked up at the same time. I have a little bit extra now, but usually only have about 3 pens inked up at a time. So here's the Monteverde. It comes in these little glass bottles, 30 milliliter bottles, and I think they're really nice bottles for 30 mils, especially compared to the Diamine. They're a little bit more practical to get a pen in and everything. A little heavier weight, so it's not going to tip over on you. And let's open this one. There's our ink. I try not to get it everywhere while I do this. And there we have it. Put the cap back on. There we go. Copper Noir. And you can see there, very wet ink. Very nice. The Prussian blue has just amazing shading too, I forgot to mention. Alright, moving right along. Next pen we have up is a Conway Stewart Wellington in silver graphite. Hopefully, there we go. Silver graphite. It's a limited edition, 38 out of 50, made in England. This is one of the original Conway Stewart ones from the original company. It's now owned by Bespoke British Pens, which I think do a good job with Conway Stewart, but they have different nibs and different materials and stuff now. So this is one of the originals, and it's a absolute joy of a pen. It has silver furniture there that you can see has a nice patina to it. Just a great pen. So we're gonna check out what is in this one. And we got Copper Noir flakes everywhere. Oh, and the nib is beautiful. You can't see super well. Maybe I'll shade it like that. But there is a amazing Conway Stewart rhodium plated gold nib. It's 18 karat fine gold nib. I love this nib. We have the, oh, it's been a while. Wellington. And it has a fine 18 karat nib. The ink we have in this one, it's another blue from Diamine. Diamine Oxford blue. Very popular ink. A lot of people absolutely love this one. I think it's alright. I'm coming around to it more and more the more I use it. Fire hose of a fine nib, I would say. And you will see here that that is obscenely wet for a fine nib, and we'll probably get some decent sheen out of this one when we do our swab. So there's our Conway Stewart. Say goodbye to him. Do a quick swab of Oxford blue. I have a big bottle of it. Oxford blue. Get a new cotton ball or cotton swab. Decently wet. Oh, that's not wet enough. There we go. So it's a very dark blue, and we'll get some shading on, depending on the nib and paper, everything. So, really nice. Alright, second to last is the old trusty rusty, the Coveco Sport. This was my first fountain pen that I ever got. It's just the basic black one, and I like it very much. It works well. Just has the regular steel medium nib. I've never had a problem out of this pen and nib combination. And the ink in it is just the good old regular Kaweco royal blue. I just have it with the cartridge. I don't have the converter for this pen. My wife has one for hers, but I just usually use the cartridges, and if I want to, I can always just refill the cartridges. But a wet writer, even with this drier, you know, sort of German ink, but very wet writer, works great. Do our smear test. There you go. Probably one of the, I guess it's on par with the platinum, but there you go. And I can't do the swab on this one because, like I said, I only have cartridges of it. But reliable ink, reliable pen. What else can you ask for? And the last one's sort of like a bonus because it's about to be cleaned. As you can see, it's very nearly out of ink. In fact, I'll go ahead and unscrew this to make sure we have enough for the writing sample. But it's the beautiful, functional, amazing Pilot Custom 823. In it, I have the old fine nib, 14 karat gold, and I love it. It's a great pen. I don't think anybody would argue against it being a great pen. Hopefully we can get this to actually focus on the writing. Alright, this is the Pilot Custom 823 with a fine 14 karat gold nib. The ink in this one is my favorite brown ink, one of my favorite inks of all time. and it is Diamine Tobacco Sunburst. And what a lovely ink it is. Great shading ink. If you're looking for an alternative to something like Inaho or something like that that's been discontinued, try out Tobacco Sunburst. I don't think you'll be disappointed. And then our last wetness test. Don't worry about the color there, but there you go for wetness. We'll put away the old pilot for some cleaning. He's going to take a bath next. And then the last thing we'll do, of course, is swab the ink. I've used a good bit of this ink, but it's Tobacco Sunburst there. Diamine, I got a big bottle of it, of course. Reuse the swab. A beautiful brown ink. That's why it's a favorite. Right there. What a stunner. Super underrated ink because it was a part of their guitar series, but they're all great inks in that series. So here we are. There's your Tobacco Sunburst. Those are the 5 pens that I have inked this week. Let me see if I can get some up-close views of the inks for you. So first is the Prussian blue. There's a little bit of sheen, but I don't know if you're going to be able to see it. You can kind of see it there. But wonderful shading. Really, that's what it is for some shading. Next up, Copper Noir. Just a solid, flat colored ink. Diamine Oxford Blue. You can see the shading, or the sheen on that. And check out the shading. You can see it coming through there. Beautiful shading, beautiful sheen. Don't worry about my C that messed up there, but absolute stunner combo. Kaweco Royal Blue, which has a little bit of sheen on Tomoe River paper on that scribble there, but you can't really see it. Solid, reliable wet rider. And then the Tobacco Sunburst is, once again, an amazing combo. The shading is outrageous, even on a fine nib. Just a lovely color. A yellowy, kind of leaning brown, but one that I just love. So there we have our currently inked for October. And usually, only, like I said, I only try to keep around 3 pens inked, but I have some extras, including this one that I'm about to clean out. So appreciate watching. Hopefully the video is not too long for you, and please leave a like, comment, subscribe if you would. It's free, and it's a way to help these videos keep coming out. So until next time, guys, fair winds.